Today I got an interesting thing we're gonna do, and it's basically because of all this white yucky stuff behind me. What put me behind this fall, and I've never actually done this before, and we're gonna do it today for the first time here. We're gonna plant a tree in the snow. Should be a blast. Now this is actually a dormant time of year, so you know the first maybe half inch here is going to be pretty iced over, but it'll be pretty soft under that and pretty diggable. So let's get started. I'm going to pick one of these out, and you may recall I have a little mountain of soil that I have. We'll use that if needed to help fill, but I also had a little raised up area where I put some fill. Pretty good soil that fill is, but I figure we're gonna tamp that down and put a nice little evergreen tree in there. That was from the video Fairy Tale Evergreen Trail, so check that video out and you'll see what I'm talking about. And we're gonna get started here. It's starting to get a little late here in the afternoon. In fact, we may have about a half hour of daylight left. Yeah, I'm not prepared for this. I didn't think I'd be planting trees in the snow. Nonetheless, we are. Man, I'm not sure what I left in here. Couldn't tell you what I left in here, but it's frozen there. I don't think I've ever used a wheelbarrow in the snow either. That shook out whatever was in there. That'd be great if it did. It worked. It worked, but what is it? Soil or something? We'll toss it over there for now. I have gloves, I have a knife, wheelbarrow, spade shovel, and a snow shovel. As I was saying, never did this before in the snow. We'll see if it works. So stay hydrated when you're out in this weather. It is crazy how drying out you'll get. Like I'll dry out in 5 minutes of working out here. People don't think of winter dehydration, but it's a real thing. We'll go clear snow off the dirt pile. You can see right here is the mound. There's the dirt. So it's pretty loose. That didn't freeze. I think the snow probably helped insulate it a little bit, but yeah, we'll be able to get this one in here today pretty easily. There's a boulder right there. So this is all fill right in here. It's just a mound of just dirt and sand and rocks, and this tree should fasten in here pretty good. All right, let's give our friend a home. So yeah, this is not your regular burlap most people use. What the guy was saying, it'll kind of decompose over time in the ground. Now, he was telling me just leave them in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down on the sides and put it in there. And it's pretty frozen, but this thing's dormant right now. As long as you can chisel into the ground where you're going to put these things, you can still plant them in the winter. wasn't going to put a bigger one here because this is just kind of new soil, a new little area I built up, and we want it to take hold better. So as I was saying, I'm gonna get the knife out. Pays to buy a decent knife. Don't buy those cheap ones for $1. Go get yourself a good one for these kind of jobs. So we got our tree. You can tell this is what I like to do before you make any decisions. Make sure you got the right one in there. And I like the looks of it. Just do a 360 lap around it. Make sure it's how you want it. It's in the best position to succeed, and it looks the best. By the way, this is a Canaan fir tree. I think I'm just gonna pull this whole thing off of here if I can. It's a little tough this time of year to pull these things off. Yeah, it's coming off. This side will cut it. The only problem with what the guy suggests, and it's not to say it doesn't work, these things are a little bit root bound, and you really should break them up anyway so the water gets up into the main trunk area. So when you break it versus leave it and get it out of this root bound stage, water will absorb up through the center much better. I think that'll be better for the spring. So this thing won't actually get acclimated until the spring. It's just going to be in a dormant stage. But I find that planting these things in the late fall, early winter, they just have much easier time growing in the spring. So you cut out a lot of that beginning stage, you speed it up if anything. So you really speed the process up by taking care of the work now. This is good soil, so I'm not going to add nothing to it. When you have great soil, you really don't have to do anything to it unless you're going to adjust something like pH or whatever. These are pretty neutral. These seem to do well in this soil. Let's keep this out of there, and we'll dump the soil right on in there. Sometimes when you buy a tree shaped like this, it's not pyramidal at these tree farms. They'll cut you a good price on something like this, but I'm not looking for perfection. I just like having all this green here in the winter. I forgot all about breaking the root ball up. Break up that root ball just a little bit. Too busy trying to beat the sun down here, and just remembered I forgot to do that. Tamp that deck down. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Take care. See you in the next video.